All right, it's time to check back in with Blake on Commercial Street, and I think he just happens to be at one of my favorite local restaurants with one of my favorite local restaurant owners. How's it going out there?
Yeah, that's right, Jeremy. I'm down here, Commercial Street at Van Gogh's Eaterie with, of course, Mr. Joe Gidman. A lot of people in town know him. A lot of people in town love him because he's got so many incredible restaurants. But this morning we're focusing on Van Gogh. So, Joe, tell me, if someone's never walked into Van Gogh's before to have a bite to eat, what are they kind of in for? What can they expect?
Well, when they're walking in, our goal is to give them kind of like a little experience of what it would be like to go into a restaurant in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So, and if people don't know what the Netherlands is, it's what we normally refer to as Holland, or we call Dutch food.
Yeah.
So, so it's kind of this Western European feel. We focus a lot on brunch items, breakfast items, but we have a lot of lunch and dinner items as well. So,
yeah. Is there a specific reason that it was like important for you to share kind of Dutch culture with the Ozarks?
Oh yeah. So when I was younger, I was an exchange student, and I did a lot of traveling. I was the kid with a backpack and a loaf of bread and bounced around Europe and South America. And that's what I loved. I loved that part of my life and that freedom and exploring different parts of the world, different culture. And so as I got older, I wanted to share that.
Yeah.
And so Holland, the Netherlands, was one of those places dear to my heart.
Yeah, I think that's really special. And the thing about it is there's so many unique dishes that people probably are not familiar with. So you brought out a few for me. So why don't you kind of walk me through what's here in front of us?
Okay, so this is actually what we call the sunflower.
Okay.
And it is, here, I'll show it on air for you guys, maybe a little better.
So
this is in the Netherlands, what's considered a pancake or a pannenkoeken. And so it's not like our pancakes that are, fluffy and light with a bunch of syrup, although you can get them sweet. But this is kind of their style of a crepe. Now, the difference between a Dutch crepe and a French crepe is theirs is flat, and they put the toppings on the top. They're not rolled up or folded. So this is a kind of a breakfast version of ours. It's savory. It has scrambled eggs. It has our bacon. We put a sunflower pesto on there, cheese. And then it does come with this sweet syrup, which we make in-house. It's actually called stroop, which is a Dutch syrup that's made from apple juice reduction. And then it has molasses and kind of some of your warm spices like cloves, cinnamon, things like that.
Okay, silly question, but how would you go about eating this?
So there's really no rule in the Netherlands except for one. The only rule is you don't use your hands. So the Dutch are very particular on fork and knife. And you don't touch your food with your bare hands. But you can cut it like a pizza, you can roll it up, you can fold it however you want.
Get a little bit in there. Okay, as I'm cutting into this, why don't you tell me about that next item next to us?
So this is what we call poffertjes, and poffertje is the Dutch word for little pillow. And it just refers to these tiny little pancakes, and they have kind of an iron. We have one where it's got these little divots, and so you pour the batter in, it rises. You actually use a little wooden stick, and you flip it over. And then it makes these tiny little pancakes, and then they're covered in powdered sugar. You can get fruit on them, you can get other kinds of syrups, but traditionally it's just a lot of powdered sugar, and then again you would dip it in the stroop syrup. So I say it's almost their version of like a beignet, but it's a little pancake instead of a donut.
So this one you would use your hands or still a fork?
You would actually use a little wooden wooden poker.
And then dip it in this.
Yeah, and then you dip it in there.
And let's see. Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's literally like a pillow in your mouth. It just like melts right in. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. Also, this was delicious.
This is probably one of our best sellers. We sell so many of these tiny little pancakes.
That is sincerely heavenly. Okay, this gourmet looking slice of heaven here. What is this?
So in the Netherlands, there's a style of food called stamppot, which is basically they're like one-pot meals that come back from the basically medieval times. So if you were out on on a fire, in your cart, going along, you'd cook everything in an iron pan. And so this is our beef hoedspot, and the hoedspot refers to the type of potato. So if you see the potato in there,
oh, I see. Yeah,
it's bright orange, and it's basically potatoes that are mashed with carrots. So it's like carrots and sautéed onions and stuff. And then you cook it all, and you take the drippings, and then you add like brandy and brown sugar, and you make a gravy. So it's like a sweet gravy that goes over it all, called browning. And so it's a slow cooked pot roast, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get in here, Joe. While I'm doing this, if people want to keep up with Van Gogh's, how do they go about doing that?
So our social media, for sure. You
Okay.
know, Van Gogh's Eaterie is on Facebook or on Instagram, and then also our website is www.vangoghseaterie.com. And we do spell eaterie a little different.
Okay.
It's Eeterie, so it has a little bit more of a Dutch European spelling.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind when you're looking for
Yeah,
it.
and just Google us. If you type in Van Gogh's Springfield, Missouri, there's so much information that pops
All right,
up.
perfect. Well, Joe, thank you so much for having me out this morning.
Awesome.
You guys get here and experience Dutch culture right here at Van Gogh's Eaterie on C Street. Back to you in studio.
All right, I also recommend the Brexit, which is the traditional English breakfast. It's amazing at Van Gogh's. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up right after this.